One of the reasons I voted for you, encouraged others, was your support for CDFIs. When can we expect those funds to get released?
Senator, I can't give you an answer. OMB will decide the terms and the timing of the CDFI apportionments.
You're the Treasury Secretary. You run this program. You had 105 Republicans say we need to get the money out.
Well, Senator, unlike the Federal Reserve, I can't print magic money.
President Trump, in many ways, I know he's forgotten this, but in 2019 became the godfather of CDFIs. So I urge you, please, Mr. Secretary, pick up the phone. Please talk to him.
Fred, there's a lot of frothiness in there if we don't get it right. Thank you, Mr. Treasurer.
Thank you, sir. Senator Warner.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And boy, I didn't hear Senator Kennedy this morning, but Senator, tell us, you were like out Kennedying Kennedy today in terms of your presentation.
That's a high bar.
That's a high bar. Mr. Secretary, good to see you. No, Mr.
We will not extend to you anymore.
Mr. I got to get my in a House move. I reclaim my time.
4 minutes and 38 seconds. Please use them.
You actually have a
All right, Mr. Secretary, I got a bunch of stuff. One of the reasons I voted for you, encouraged others, was your support for CDFIs. One of the things I'm really proud of, Senator Crapo and I had an active bipartisan CDFI caucus. And last October, oh my gosh, Senator Crapo got 105 Republican members of Congress, including 8 Republicans on this committee, to say CDFIs, it's a good program. Yet the CDFI fund at $324 million in fiscal year 25, it's now February 26, and none of these funds have been released. And I know we've talked about this. Treasury, I know, works with OMB and some difficulties there. And we're hearing from CDFIs and how this is dramatically affecting. When can we expect those funds to get released?
Senator, I can't give you an answer. OMB will decide the terms and the timing of the CDFI apportionments.
Mr. Secretary, I got to tell you, you're the Treasury Secretary. You run this program. You had 105 Republicans say we need to get the money out.
Well, Senator, unlike the Federal Reserve, I can't print magic money.
Well, you sure as heck could call the OMB director and say this is a program that you have legal authority over. It is important. Matter of fact, as we talked about, President Trump, in many ways, I know he's forgotten this, but in 2019 became the godfather of CDFIs. When in the last Trump COVID package, he put $12 billion into this program. So I urge you, please, Mr. Secretary, pick up the phone and call. I know it would be difficult. I wouldn't want to talk to the OMB director either that much, but please talk to him and see if you can get those dollars released. It is so important. And I hope the 8 of my Republican colleagues will at least say, attaboy Warner on this one. Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I reserve my time back. I want to add, I know we're spending a lot. I feel like I'm in crypto hell. I know, Cynthia, I'm welcome to it, and God bless you. And you know, I think, and actually, and I really appreciate what you did on the stablecoins bill. And I think, you know, we got a lot of broad bipartisan support. At least many of us, I think all of my Republicans and many of my Democratic friends agree we want these products built in America. Crypto's here to stay, and we need clear rules of the road. And stablecoin was simple compared to market structure. But you have one of the things that we see in crypto, and we are working our tail off. You can please, I think the chairman and I've spent, and Cynthia and others have spent more time on this than, anyway, I'm going to use up my time. But there are a lot of issues around national security that you have unique perspectives on with FinCEN, with the Secret Service. We sure as heck don't want to take away from prosecutors some of the tools they have to go against bad guys. You know, we've got to have some area to close down some of the gaps in DeFi. And again, there's bipartisan agreement on this, but boy, we need, I think we're starting to get some of the technical assistance. But if you can just make clear that this is a real problem, and you know, we'll deal with yields and rewards, we'll deal with a host of other issues, but these national security issues around DeFi are real, and we need to not create a set of rules that leaves huge exemptions and candidly takes away some of the prosecutorial powers that exist today.
Senator, I look forward to working with you on that. We've had problems, and historically, there's problems when the technology gets ahead of the legislation. So if we can work with you on the legislation it's for both OFAC and FinCEN.
We love your technical assistance, and I think, Mr. Chairman and Senator Lomas, that you will be invited to our next round robin on that, and that may be later today or tomorrow or Monday. So
good. And if you could convince some of there seems to be a nihilist group in the industry who would prefer no regulation over this very good regulation.
amen, brother. So weigh in.
I do.
Weigh in.
Early and often, Senator.
Weigh in. One last comment. I know my time is up. No, last comment. Hey,
Senator.
agentic AI, we got to come back and talk about. Agentic AI, huge possibilities with AI, but we've got to be careful about that. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Unbelievable. Okay. Senator Lummis.
Thank you. I'm going to pursue this line of questioning. Thank you, Mr. Secretary, for being here. You've had a chance to travel the world since you took the oath of office. Is China trying to use digital assets and blockchain to build an alternative to American financial leadership?
We don't know that for sure. There are lots of rumors of Chinese digital assets that may be backed by something other than the RMB, perhaps gold-based. We haven't seen that. They have a very large sandbox in Hong Kong, and HKMA is actively traveling the world looking at different mechanisms. So I would not be surprised.
Based on what you know now, what is your opinion about the importance of having clear rules of the road, market structure legislation in the United States?
Look, I think that it's impossible to proceed without it. We have to get this Clarity Act across the finish line, and any market participants who don't want it should move to El Salvador.
So, as a industry, what is the benefit to having this industry embedded in the U.S. economy?
Well, again, as I said, that there seem to be people who want to live in the U.S. but not have rules for this important industry, and we've got to bring safe, sound, and smart practices and the oversight of the U.S. government, but also allow for the freedom that is crypto. And I think it's a balance that is being worked out. It was worked out in the Genius Act, and I'm confident with leadership of people on both sides of the aisle that we can get clarity across the line this year.
Can you see a day when conventional banks and digital asset banking are offering the same types of products, giving each an advantage to offering a broader array of financial products to the American consumer?
I think that can happen over time, and we've actually been working with small and community banks to discuss how they can be part of the digital asset revolution also.
Among the things that have challenged us in these last months is concern by community banks and big banks that the stablecoin bill, the Genius Act, and market structure could cause a bleeding of deposits from small banks. What's your reaction to that concern?
Look, I've been a champion of these small banks, and deposit volatility is very undesirable because it is the stability of those deposits that allows them to lend into their communities, ag, small business, real estate, and we will continue to work to make sure that there is no deposit volatility associated with this.
Well, as an ag borrower, I commend you on that because I have borrowed from community banks on our ag operation for decades, and we're dependent on our community banking relationships in rural America to help sustain us and grow our businesses. So I very much appreciate that. I want to switch to digital asset taxation for just a minute. So among the things that I'm exploring, and the Senate Finance Committee has a package of bills that looks really good to me on digital asset taxation. But one of them that's kind of vexing that I could use some guidance on is the issue of de minimis with regard to especially Bitcoin and other digital assets that might be used as a means of exchange. So the issue is, will it be a capital gain or will it be exempt from capital gains when it's used as a means of exchange to purchase things? And if it's going to be subject to a capital gain, how do you calculate what the capital gain is? If somebody has a blended portfolio of Bitcoin, some of which were purchased when it was $300, some of which were purchased today at $75,000, and some of which were purchased a year ago at over $100,000. How do you calculate the capital gain? Do you have some thoughts about that, or who I could consult with in your shop?
It's a very complicated subject. We'd be very happy to have our Office of Tax Policy work with your team.
I'll be over. Thank you, Mr. Secretary.
We look forward to seeing you.